So when you hear someone say FNaF, what comes to your mind first? It's probably FNaF 1, FNaF 2, FNaF 3, FNaF 4, Sister Location, Pizzeria Simulator, or Ultimate Custom Night. But you may also think of some of the other games, like the AR game, or some of the games made by the company called Steelwool. Well, since I hope you read the title of this video, those Steelwool games are the ones we're going to be covering, because the Steelwool FNaF games have had a rough past, but have managed to improve. So without any more stalling, let's get into it.
I got a light! Don't do it!
So the first of these games made by Steelwool was FNaF VR. And yes, this was a 3D virtual FNaF experience, with remakes of the first 3 games and a few custom levels. But to be fair, these remakes of the first 3 games weren't really that good. The FNaF 1 remake was very unfair with the power mechanic and Foxy. Why was Foxy so unfair? Well, in the later nights, you're gonna need to have a very good understanding if you don't want to die. And don't even get me started on night 5. The FNaF 2 remake has 0 challenge. You can check the vents while winding the music box, and the flashlight is just not there. And it's replaced by this hallway light button with 0 battery, meaning you can just flash the hallway infinitely. Oh, and also, the withered animatronics do not appear, except for Foxy, but he's not a challenge because of the hallway light button. The only time the withered animatronics appear is on their own night, which isn't needed considering that the other nights are just way too easy. I never really liked FNaF 3, and I don't really like the FNaF 3 VR remake. The phantom models suck, they look disgusting, and when they jump scare you, it's just so f***ing terrible. Instead of there being a FNaF 4 remake, we have Night Terrors and Dark Rooms. Dark Rooms are a remake of the Plush Trap, Nightmare Balloon Boy, and Funtime Foxy levels, which aren't really that bad except for the Funtime Foxy level because it's the Funtime Foxy level from Sister Location. So what did you expect? But this did add another level with new characters, little plush versions of Circus Baby called Plush Babies. And these guys f***ing suck. Like, their level is the worst. They're the worst. And the Nightmare Mode level is just utter chaos. Just remove them, please! Night Terrors takes place in the FNaF 4 bedroom, but it's not FNaF 4. Instead, it consists of 4 different levels with you facing off against Funtime Freddy, who breaks very easily, Nightmarian with his tentacles! Circus Baby and Nightmare Fredbear, which is basically just Night 5 of FNaF 4 but with this. And then there's this parts and service section of the game, which does an insanely good job of giving you all this stress and tension that you might screw up and do this. The vent minigames are okay, but it can get a little complicated, especially with Ennard. Oh, and there's this lore shit which we're not going to talk about in this video, so let's move on to the next game.
Oh no, he got too much juice. Oh no, that's fine.
So this is FNaF Security Breach, a free-roam FNaF game that came out in 2021, and
when that happens, the lights go out, and when that...
yeah, this game was very overhyped for what it was. Security Breach was a buggy mess that was way too ambitious for its own good. How ambitious, you ask? Well, let's take the riding the go-kart task for example. To ride the go-kart, you need a staff bot for some unknown reason. But oh no, the head's broken, so you need to go up to an entire different floor where you have to reboot the power while being chased by f***ing DJ Music Man. But to be fair, the DJ Music Man section isn't really that bad and it's probably one of the only good things about this game, but that's not really the point. And the cherry on top to all of this is that you do all of that just to get Roxy's eyes. This game is unbearable to me.
One of our other directors, Evan and I, we sat down with index cards and we did an overhead view of the whole building, right? This is what the space is, right? This is what we want. These are all different areas. And then we handed that off to our sets guys, and then they took what was a 2-story building and they made a 3-story building. And then we were like, we're gonna keep it. Let's just add more stuff. And we, that was one of those moments where it really exploded into a much bigger space. That was...
Like, that's not how you make games. Just stick with what you have and then use the rest for a sequel or DLC. Don't pile everything together into a poorly optimized piece of shit game. Oh, and that reminds me, this game is very poorly optimized. Take my word for it. When you tried to play this on release day, yeah, you could say goodbye to your PC. But surprisingly, there are people who like this game. Ironically, not in the YouTuber kind of way. Why do people like these games, ironically? Well, despite being a complete utter mess, people managed to enjoy the game for what it was. Even though it's buggy, people find joy out of it. But then this game is also universally hated, with people starting to say that it ruins the franchise and even left the community over it. I highly disagree with the whole "it ruins the franchise" deal. I thought it was just the worst FNaF game and moved on. Oh, and this game had really complex lore, with it getting multiple theories made on it. But like I said before, we're not doing that in today's video, so I think we should move on to the game's DLC.
Is he getting through? Oh, he can't get through! You can't!
So this is the Ruin DLC. The DLC that I wasn't as hyped for since it was Security Breach DLC. It was set to release in July of 2023, and when it did release, I went in with very low expectations. And those expectations were blown through the roof. This DLC was way better than base game Security Breach. It was so much better in every aspect. Lore, gameplay, secrets, and... So this is the Entity, or Mixus. He was created as an AI to stop people who put on the Vanny mask from deactivating these digital security nodes. Why doesn't he want you deactivating these digital security nodes? Well, it's because they free
the thing
in the basement. What's
the thing?
You ask? Well, it's... So this is fan favorite character, the Mimic. First appearing in the Tales of the Pizzaplex books, this guy exploded in popularity, and it was kinda cool to see him in Ruin as the final boss. This game also does an amazing job at keeping you on one path, meaning it's harder to get completely lost and not know where you are. This game also does a pretty good job at character development and connection. There's this sad part where Roxy lore drops about Cassie and is very kind towards us, and then we shut her down, making for this really sad moment. But as you can probably tell by now, this is the beginning of the redemption phase. I say the beginning of the redemption phase because there's still one more game we still need to cover. So let's move on to it. So this is the sequel to everyone's favourite VR experience, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. And honestly, this game is much better than the first Help Wanted. The only levels that are redone are the Sister Location custom night type games, and this Ballora Gallery level, and this Breaker Room level, but even they aren't like the original. And this game is more based around Sister Location, Pizzeria Simulator, and Security Breach.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the...
Yeah, it was a pretty reveal that they were back. But hey, this game did plenty of good things about it, like the inclusion of a ruined DJ Music Man that wasn't in Ruin for some reason, or the undoubtedly complicated secrets, which really pays off in the end when you get these two different endings that are really cool.
Take a mask. Take a mask.
Oh, and you'll find these corrupt files while playing the game, which are probably there for lore purposes. But how are people supposed to know that you get access these by taking off a f***ing Vanny mask? Like, I understand that this poster is a hint, but it's very vague, and I don't think people are gonna reach up to their face and then grab at it. But hey, at the end of the day, I really like thus completing the redemption phase. So yeah, Steel Company makes FNaF games, some good and some f***ing horrible. But nonetheless, that concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed, but with that said, Pingold out.